project that Allie and I have been working on is traveling around the United States. We like to do a lot of domestic travel because there's a lot to explore within our own home country that is awesome, very worth sharing. So we created this map, and it's not complete yet, but it has a lot of the points that we've already been to and a lot of the points that we want to get to. So it's just a push pin map, and it uses a color-coded system where orange is actually high points, the highest peaks within each state in the United States. The green are places that we've been and we loved. Yellow is places that we've been and we loved, but we're not, absolutely dying to get back to. And then red is someplace that we've been and didn't necessarily think it was worthy of making a trip back to. These are all our opinions of the places that we've been to, and it could have just been the things that we did at the time that made it really good, or maybe not so good. But it helps us catalog some of the better places that we've been to. And then alongside that, each of the push pins is numbered, and then we have a journal that I journal each of our trips, and then there's a number in each of the pages of the book where I dedicate a page to just describe what we've done on the trip, what we liked, and then really just our whole experience with the trip. So it's been a really fun experience for us. I'll go ahead and show you some of the places that we've enjoyed so far. Okay, so here is our bucket list travel map of the United States. So I'm gonna start with Arizona, just because that's the state that Allie and I are currently living in. And then I'll kind of zoom out, go to some of the other states that we've been to, and describe why maybe we put a green for some, yellow, red for others. So let's go ahead and start here with Arizona. And just a heads up, these blue ones, these blue pins are places that we want to get to but haven't yet been to. The white ones are national parks that we haven't been to, and black is a national park that we have been to. And like I said earlier, that orange is just a high point, meaning it's the highest elevation in the state. So that black one right there, that's Grand Canyon National Park. If you look up just a little bit north there, you have Zion and Bryce National Park, which Allie and I have both been to within the past couple of years together. So if we take a closer look here at Arizona, number 45, the green pin there is Prescott, Arizona. It's a really cool mountain town with a lot of history. It used to be Arizona's capital. And just to the northeast of that is Jerome, which is now kind of a ghost town, or it gives ghost tours anyway. It has kind of a haunted past and really cool town to drive around in, but not necessarily something that we're dying to get back to. And then just to the northeast of that is Sedona, number 47 on the green pin there, which is just a beautiful town. If you haven't gotten a chance to fly into Arizona and then visit Sedona, you have to check that one out. Now 45, Prescott, Arizona, that one's a little biased for us because we have just a 2-hour drive up to it from where we are in the valley in Arizona. So for us, it's very worth it to go back up. So that's why we give it a green. But it may not be one that's worth it to fly halfway across the country to go see. Sedona, on the other hand, it might be. That red one up there, number 51, is actually Williams, Arizona. It's on Route 66, so it's kind of a historic town. But Allie and I collectively gave it. It didn't really stand out to us as being someplace that we'd love to get back to. It's a cute little town, just being that it is on a historical route. If we go up north here to Idaho, number 1 on the list is actually Coeur d'Alene. That's my hometown. Allie and I have had a few trips up there, and we just love it every single time. Number 2 is right on the Idaho-Montana border. I believe the town is Avery, but the reason we have that one marked green, it's the start of the Hiawatha bike trail, which follows along some tunnels and an old train track. So it's really pretty. That number 156 was a late addition. But the reason that one's green is because that's Colbert, Washington, where Allie and I got married. Super cute town with Green Bluff, a series of family farms. And again, one of those where it's special to us. So it may not be green for everyone else, especially if you're flying halfway across the country. Seattle, Washington, cool town. Time of year we went was actually just after the wedding in September, and we left the Seattle Pier 66 to go on our Alaskan cruise. And just before we left, we saw Pike's Place Market, kind of walked around Seattle a little bit. Really, really cool town. Not one that I necessarily want to live in, just because of how overcast it is there. Number 11, we actually have been to that one. That was part of the Alaskan cruise. That's Victoria, Canada, and it's really pretty spot. But we got there at nighttime, just because it was the last stop on our cruise, and that's when they had scheduled to stop into the port. So we didn't get to see all of it, so that's why that one's yellow and not green, but someplace that we'd like to get back to eventually. And then if we go down to California, we gave San Francisco a green. We flew in there and then drove east over to Yosemite National Park, which is that black one, number 38. And Allie and I just hiked Half Dome, so that one was just an unforgettable experience. That was amazing, truly amazing. Las Vegas, not some place that Allie and I are dying to get back to, but it's cool. It has a lot to do there. It was my first time to the East Coast in 2023, and we actually got a lot of cities checked off the bucket list here. On one trip, we flew over for some of our friends' wedding, and we flew into Boston and then went to Allie's hometown of Littleton, Massachusetts, which is that green one, number 136, right here. And then from there, we went south down to Connecticut. Middletown is where the wedding was held. Just a really, really cool town. We did check out Hartford and New Haven kind of during our stay there, and those were cool towns. I just liked the scenery and felt more at home in Middletown. I thought that was really cool. And then we also checked out number 132 there, that green mark, Mystic, Connecticut, home of Mystic Pizza. Really delicious pizza and a very cool seaport town. From there, we drove east over to Newport, Rhode Island, which was, again, a really cool spot. We got to see a lot of the historic gilded mansions, like the Breakers, a place that I think is important to visit for sure. Another trip that we did was Ocean City, New Jersey, where we flew into Philadelphia and then drove down. Number 129 there, that green dot. So Ocean City is just a really cool family-friendly town that has a lot of interesting history to it. Really important one for Allie's family, and I was really blessed that they invited me along on the trip, and I got to experience it. We also got to check out Cape May, number 128 down there, which was cool, but not some place that I'm dying to get back to. And New York City, number 131. Which, again, I gave green just because it has so much history. Really, really cool town to check out. Go back down to Alaska, where it shows kind of the route of the cruise that we took up the Inner Passage from Canada. And then we actually stopped in Juneau first, and then Skagway. And then we came down to Glacier Bay National Park, which was really beautiful. But out of all of the stops, Allie and I really liked Ketchikan. We thought that place resonated with us a lot. It actually reminded me a lot of the temperate national forest that you get in some of the areas up in Washington, specifically like this Port Angeles area. So that Olympic National Forest is really cool. And the reason that I say that, I have been to that area. Allie and I haven't been together, so that's why that one's not marked black, meaning it's completed, just because we haven't done that one together. The Midwest is lacking in places just because we don't know a whole lot about the Midwest. Certainly if somebody would like to drop in the chat and then suggest some places for us to go to in here, we would love to. I have nothing against Kansas or Nebraska, but just don't know any places there. And even some places down in Iowa, they made the list. Definitely some places that we want to check out. If you guys have any more suggestions for us, feel free to drop it down in the chat.